Okay, Shalom Akim, Kal Halanim Na Yahaba Shim Yashab Bashim Kudash, and double on Instagrams and apostles. Thadi Shah for the strength in order to make this video, and Yara Tazar, they also edified and you're brought up, man. You're built up. Which to edify means to build up, exhort means to encourage. So this is the part 2 to the other video on Eve, the one that I mentioned about the synthetic attachments really causing cancer. So look here, one moment. So the other previous video I made it on the synthetic attachments actually releasing carcinogens, especially when you put it in boiling water as you're weaving it with the real hair. That then is released, those carcinogens released, and then of course this then starts to produce cancer, man. And then people start wondering, women may start wondering why their hair's falling out at old age or something. And there's actually old women out there who actually have quite strong and long and thick hair, man. But them ones, they got they moved quickly, they moved early with the knowledge of maintaining healthy hair. Because obviously they would have started from young. In terms of their habits, diet is obviously one thing, and also what you put externally on your hair as well. So this is just a part 2, because I was actually wondering, since I got the main parts in the part 1, I was wondering, okay, what am I going to do, in the part 2? And then Yara Tazar, through the Most as well, I then found this video, which was named "We Are Raising a Generation of Bold Women," and it says weaves, wigs, and it says self-love, man. But the point is that I got recommended this video and I decided to watch it, man. Because I was wondering, okay, what am I going to say in the part 2? And I realized, okay, this is actually a good one to bring out, man. Because this really goes into the psychology of these I was gonna say really of Eve, if you want to call them Evites. But anyways, the psychology of Eve, man, not really appreciating, how Yahweh Shem Shah created them and what they have in terms of their natural hair. You gotta realize it, man, that these Edomites and these other nations, they can't style their hair as much as Southern Kingdom specifically can style their hair, man. But of course they feel that shame and basically, I was gonna say worthlessness, but that's why they wanna be like the heathen, man. But the scriptures say, "Envy not thou oppressor." Let me try to get down quickly to it before I then get to this video. This is I find it. Envy not. As it says here, man. Hold on. Proverbs 3:31. Envy not the oppressor, choose none of his ways. An example of that envy, that jealousy, is when you see Eve out here in the streets with them blonde weaves, man. I mean, who naturally has a blonde looking hair? The so-called Edomite woman. So it's like when you got, Eve, subconsciously seeing, the blonde woman, blonde hair, blue eyes, typical Edomite woman being promoted in these modeling adverts or wherever they're promoting them, because really it's everywhere, as the so-called standards of beauty, they then start to develop a hate for themselves, man. So of course it's understandable that subconsciously or even intentionally, despite them knowing that, some of them may not know it, most of them are operating in ignorance nevertheless, they flipping get a darn blonde looking weave, man. Having that high contrast look. Which even if you chose a brown weave, I'm just rambling on here now. Even if you chose a brown weave, the point is, you still want to have hair texture like the darn heathen. That's the thing. Now it's been revealed You know, as I said in the part one, that these synthetic hairs actually woven into your natural hair actually produces cancer, and it aids in cancer. You know, now there's another video as well, but you know, I don't want to make this like that's some kind of series. Maybe every now and then I may make a video on it. But this is the result of envying your oppressor, man. You start to destroy yourself. You know? Anyways, let's play this video out as well. Then I just read Proverbs 3:31. We'll get a few precepts then, you know, in between this little talk here, this video. But I'm gonna play probably about 10 minutes, you know, probably break it down. Then, you know, I'll link it to the description if you brothers want to watch the full thing. And yeah.
It's detrimental to...
Oh yeah, I forgot. I already marked the part, but let me start from the beginning.
Someone asked me, do I think we're raising a generation of bald women? I think the answer is yes, but I also think it's deeper than that. For those of you who don't know, my name is Maya Karen. I run a fashion blog called Classically Kept. It does feature luxury, contemporary, and how to style, and now natural hair care and hair care topics.
Which, don't get me wrong, there are women that out there of whom actually maintain their hair very well, their natural hair very well. Of course, this being one of them, clearly, you know, from the way she's you know, packaged everything up there, man. You know, so you know, there's many women who do it well, man. You know, they know how to moisturize their hair, you know, keep it, you know, in that moist state, you know, healthy state. You know how to prepare it before bed, you know, using the silk I was gonna say hat, but I don't know. You know those hats that women wear. I don't know what it's called. I know what it's called, but it's escaping me right now. But you know those hats that they use, that silky hats that they wear, you know, to protect their hair. You know, there's women that know how to really maintain their hair, man. Which will obviously promote the healthy growth of it. You know, and most women, most of Eve right now, they don't know how to maintain their diets. But anyways, let's continue.
So if you were into any of those things, please consider subscribing to my channel. Click the notification conversation. I know this video is going to ruffle some feathers, but the reason why I want to now talk about this is because I got 2 comments within the last month on the same video, to the point where I know that when it comes to the natural hair community, I know we have our qualms, I know we have our faults, but it's getting to the point, in my opinion, that we need to move from self-acceptance to radical self-acceptance. And these 2 comments, I'm going to show you the first one, but I'm going to explain the second one because I cannot find the second one. So I'm going to read these 2 comments. I'm going to give you my thoughts, and then I'm going to actually get into where I personally think this is coming from. Okay? So the very first comment is, I was just doing my niece's hair. She's 7. And she kept complaining about how curly and poofy her hair was and how she wished it was straight. It's so difficult to hear young people saying these things about themselves, but we have to radically love our natural hair and show them all the beautiful things about it so they don't view it in such a negative way. This comment bothers me. And the reason why it bothers me is because she's 7. She's 7. She's not 10, she's not 12, she's not 14.
Of course, I understand as well back in, you know, brothers' days. I say brothers' days because, you know, I'm just a young folk over here, man. You know, only 21 right now. You know, soon to be 22. But, you know, in brothers' days, you know, probably in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, you know, them days, that's when, you know, Eve would have felt more shame into revealing their natural curl patterns of their froze, man. You know, their afros. You know, but this modern age right now, it's come to the point where, you know, certain of the, I remember back in the 6th womb as well, you know, certain of Eve, certain of these Israelite women, when they reveal their natural curls, it's like, you know, even the Edomite women want to touch it as well, man. So, you know, that so-called acceptance or self-acceptance, you know, the Most High is putting that spirit out there, man. You know, to a certain degree, you know, gradually, little by little. But overall, as a nation, you know, Israel is still in a very self-hate type of spirit, man. But of course, remember, the curses are still the curses are going to be transferred to Esau. So don't, it's decreasing gradually, man. All three are Bashim Yashar. The closer we get to the kingdom, the more Esau's going to feel the curses and the less Jake going to feel the curses. But remember, Jacob's trouble still going to happen nevertheless. So, anyways, continue on.
She's not 16, she's 7. And I believe you're I think you're in elementary school, and she already has a negative outlook on her hair. Now, that's just the comment. We don't know what has transpired. We don't know what her community looks like. We don't know what her environment looks like. We don't know what her friend circle looks like.
Yeah, because the community, the so-called friends, could consist of just Edomites, probably mocking her for her hair as well. Which would then result to that self-hate or mild vexation. What is it again? Jeremiah 2:33. Jeremiah 2:33. Why trimmest thou thy ways to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. It's like, why are you reducing yourself to please the darn heathens, man? So I mean, which is understandable, because of course the psychological trauma from back in the slave days as well, serving Esau, Edom, the traces would be there even generations after the actual trauma was inflicted. So hence why that servitude, subordinate mindset was there, even on Israelite women too. So it says, Jeremiah 2:33, why trimmest thou thy ways to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. And Israelites also assimilate into heathen customs. They did it back in the day with the Greeks. Israelites assimilated to the Greek customs. That's why Paul had to talk to them, to pattern up. Anyways, and straighten up, man. So yeah, therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways as well. So yeah, they get corrupted. And Jake trying to top off corruption as well. But anyways, this is the result, man. They trim their ways. This is an example of them trimming their ways is Eve, getting into weaves to have that texture of the so-called of the Edomite woman. So that's envying the oppressor, and of course trimming their ways, man, which reducing themselves in order to look like the heathens more. Yeah, that's the idea of the blonde weave as well. I mean, come on, man. What other nation wears the most weaves than the Israelite woman? What other women of any other nation wears weaves, man? It's mainly Israelite women, because again, they got the curse of the boldness, as I mentioned in the previous video. In the part 1 of this.
Environment looks like. We don't know what her friend circle looks like. But comments like this are the exact reason why I started my YouTube channel. Yes, it started out as a fashion channel, and I still do fashion, or I started incorporating my natural hair care and just hair care topics into my channel, because if I could just save one little girl, my job is done. Now, the second comment, I can't find it, but basically I'm going to paraphrase. There was a woman who was talking about Thanksgiving from last year of 2024, and I believe her niece or someone at the Thanksgiving gathering was between the age of 14 and 15. And basically she overheard a conversation with this teenager talking to her mother, begging her or trying to figure out a way that they could compromise or what type of weave that she could buy. Once again, we're talking about a child. We're talking about a 14-year-old. Yes, she is a teenager, and yes, when we were all 14, 15, 16, and 17, we all thought we knew everything, right? But it just hurts my heart when I hear things like this. And this is me personally. I am not a therapist, but this is my opinion. By the time our young women reach the age of 14, 15, 16, and 17, and they are already discussing, already wearing, already begging to wear the weaves, the wigs, and extensions, it is already too late. That is one of the reasons why I am looking to have my event called Love Your Curls, because it focuses on young women. Like I said, I am not a therapist, but I am of the opinion that once you get to that age, unfortunately, the damage is already done. I will bring you two examples. The first one is the doll example. And basically what that was, and it was kind of the same experiment, y'all remember the Tyra Banks show, but she had one segment, or she had one show just basically talking about stereotypes, skin colors, and things like that. This experiment broke my heart. So basically, I think she took young girls anywhere, I believe from the age of like 5 to 9, and she just gave them dolls, and she laid them on the table, and she just started asking questions. Of course, the white girls picked the white dolls, but the young black girls also picked the white dolls. Now, there were black dolls there, and at that time, there was no such thing as a natural hair doll or a curly Afro textured doll. But the fact that a 5-year-old is already aware of her surroundings, is already aware of society, and I guess you could say the hierarchy that each person has in.
Yeah. That's how deep the psychological trauma goes. Being beat down into that servitude mindset, where even flipping young ones, of whom are not even in the age of reason, choose the Edomite looking doll. Remember the days of Barbie dolls, man. I was like, what's it? I'm not even sure, but obviously, I'm pretty much in Generation Z, in it. So early 2000s for me, but it could have been, in the 90s as well, where the dolls were more introduced. But point being is, where you got Israelite female children, babies, choosing the Edomite dolls to play with. And clearly that's telling you something there. That Esau Edom, he's done a number on us. Of course, the Most High allowed that to be so, to teach us a very good lesson. That don't disobey him, basically. So, which obviously, we're in the procedure of repenting back to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. So, Lamentations 4:1. How's the gold become dim? How's the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street. The gold is reference to Israelites, they're really in their original natural form, man, to be a wise and understanding people above all other nations. In verse 2, the precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, how are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter? So of course they've been reduced from their status, man. That's what the earthen pitchers metaphorically represents. It says comparable to fine gold, because originally they're supposed to be, the one that people aspire to be like. The Edomite woman's supposed to be aspiring to be like the so-called Israelite. I said so-called, to be like the Israelite woman. But of course, it's the other way around, man. You got Eve flipping being a donut case right here. Anyways, before I get to the video, I was gonna get into earthen pictures. So, where is it? The root word of earthen pictures, because that's what Jake has been reduced to right now. The work of the hands of a potter. Clearly he's talking about, reduced to clay. Alright, let's get Lamentations 4:2. So pictures, root word is nabal. And it says a skin bag, jar, pitcher, skin bottle, skin, jar, pitcher, earthen. So it's like a jar. But when it says earthen pitcher, that's talking about, it really is referring to clay. It's referring to clay. Like a jar made of clay. That's what they are. They're no longer gold. They're clay right now. So the precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold. How are they esteemed as earthen pitchers? Which means they've reduced. They've fallen from their former glory. That even goes down to the Israelite women too, man. Always having with them hating their natural hair texture. They don't understand that there's a natural attraction. Even me myself, when I'm walking outside, and then you see a certain Israelite woman with their afro out, it's like, okay, you do you. There's more of an attraction there, because it's not something that's seen as much nowadays. So that's that's a problem, man. But of course, we understand that it's a curse. I'm gonna get that soon enough, man. Let me play a bit more.
I guess you could say the hierarchy that each person has in the world is a very telling sign. If you talk to a lot of therapists or some of the therapists that I listen to, they will tell you by the age of 4 or 5, a child's behavior and or their temperament is already set in. And when you have 5-year-olds reaching for a doll that does not look like them, and they're reaching for that doll because they think that that doll is prettier. They think that that doll is going to be more successful. We have an issue. So for the rest of this video, I just kind of want to break down where I see it coming from and how it gets passed down from generation to generation, okay? So let's start with grandma. We know that most grandmas at one point in time were either wearing their hair straight, they were pressing their hair, or they were getting relaxers. I do want to point out and I do want to acknowledge for a lot of our elders, whether it be a grandmother or whether it be a great grandmother, straightening your hair, having a certain appearance was a part of your livelihood. You needed to have straight hair to get a job to pay the bills. I'm fully aware of that. However, on the backside or behind that, if grandma relaxes her hair and that's all that she knows, or that's what she finds appropriate, or that's what she finds aesthetically pleasing, that means that should she have a daughter, she's going to do the exact same thing. I do also want to acknowledge the 60s and the 70s when
That reminds me of that precept. Let's see, I think it's Proverbs 20 and 22. Maybe 24. No, not that. Hold on. Hold up. Maybe it's 22. Yep. Proverbs 22 and verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. You know, as the woman said, man, you know, the grandma wears her hair in a certain style, keeps wearing the weave, straightening her hair, relaxes her hair, you know, texturizes her hair. Which that stuff is just chemicals damaging the hair, man. You know, texturizing and relaxing the hair, man. Then the child will also follow the same customs. I remember there was a saying that I found in a video where it says, children follow what you do. They don't follow what you say. They follow what you do. Hence why leading by example is the best way to make another person, or to make another person, as of course, optimally in this case a child, to actually follow. You know, because they see you doing it, they'll then do the same thing. By copying you, that's how they learn. So hence why, if you give them bullshit to follow, then they're gonna do bullshit. Anyways, let's continue now.
Want to acknowledge the 60s and the 70s when the, Black power and Afro and things like that started to come. But you still had a majority of Black women who were choosing to straighten their hair, get their hair pressed, or they were choosing to relax their hair. So now you have this grandma. She is straightening her hair, relaxing her hair is the only thing that she knows. She now has a daughter. Because that is the only thing that she knows, that for her is the only option. So she now has a daughter and she is going to do the same thing to her daughter. So we start this perpetual cycle. So now we have the daughter, right? She's going to do the exact same thing. As soon as she gets old enough, or as soon as she has too much hair on her head, or as soon as her hair becomes unmanageable, then she's going to get a relaxer. Okay, so that's all that she knows. But also, we need to acknowledge the message that is being sent down from generation to generation. When your child, because I did a video talking about my natural hair story, and a lot of y'all were talking about you were the same age as I was. I was 9. Some of y'all were 4. Some of y'all were 6. Some of y'all were 5. The message that we are sending to our young daughters and our young girls when it comes to relaxing our hair, especially at a young age, is simply this. Your hair, the natural hair that grows out of your head, is not good enough, it's not aesthetically pleasing, and it is not acceptable. We also need to acknowledge the fact that children pick up on a lot more than we give them credit for. Okay, so we have grandma and now we have daughter. So let's turn the daughter into a mother. So she has her own child, and it so happens to be a girl. Now, of course, because that's all that she knows, that is more than likely what she is going to do to her daughter's hair, right? She's going to have the same attitude as her mother or as grandma.
Yeah, but you all can get the point, man. You all can get the point. Let me see if I can see. Is there anything else?
Wearing wigs, and she never. You are the example for your young daughter. If you are always getting weaves and extensions and wearing wigs, and she never sees you in your natural state, in your natural, beautiful state, that is sending a message to her. You might not think that, but you are the first example of what your daughter thinks a.
Even if the child don't um consciously gets the information or gets the signal, subconsciously they're still receiving it. Because eventually they're gonna flip and notice the mother with the weaves, the synthetic attachments, and then obviously, in the future they would then want to do the same thing. People will be wondering, oh, why does she want the same things? Because it's been flipping drilled into her subconscious now to get weaves. Society, she sees many girls out there in society do it. She sees mothers and aunties do it. And really just women, Israelite women in general doing it, man. Specifically Southern Kingdom here. So I'm going to get this final preset, then we'll close it out. Because you brothers already know the point, man. Eve just has to learn, but that's going to be in the Most High's timing. They're going to have to get shaken up before they then, before the reasoning comes back to their head. Now, what preset? Okay, yeah, because I'll mention the curses here as well. So let me get this. Just 2 verses. Then I'll close it out. So Deuteronomy 28 and 20, the Lord Yahweh shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. So part of, just focusing on the perspective of the Israelite woman here. She'll be receiving vexation. It's a vexation for them because of the fact that Esau Edom is seen as the beauty standard right now. The so-called blonde hair and blue eyes, man. Don't get me wrong. You already know it because just watch the movies. Typically, the one who's seen as beautiful, even for Israelite men as well, is the blonde hair, the blue eyes in the movies. That's one thing. Sometimes in the adverts as well, you see that. And then subconsciously, you repeat the image a few times. You start to flip and believe it, but it's not actually true. It says, and rebuke in all that thou settest thine hands unto for to do, until thou be destroyed. So that curse and that vexation, that's how the Israelite woman is, because of that mild, even if it's mild, the point is that they have that vexation within them because of the fact that they're not at the top of the beauty standard, man, which will provoke that envy thy oppressor, scripture, Proverbs 3 and 31. So, again, it's psychologically, that psychological trauma goes deep, man, from the days of slavery until now, from each captivity until now, man. So that's why we got to pray to Yahweh Shimi and try to get out of it, because we Israelites need a flipping reset, a healing, a very strong healing, mentally, especially mentally, of course spiritually, even physically as well. Really, always they need the ultimate reset and cleansing. That's what they need, from the Israelite man to the Israelite woman, to the Israelite children. Everything needs to be put in order now, man. But we gotta be patient on Yahweh Shem Yahushua, as we always say in each video. So I'm the end of the Yarat as well. If you brothers wanna get more of understanding on this, as the video is called, we are raising a generation of bold women, weaves, wigs, and self-love. I'll probably link the video description there in case brothers wanna finish it. But yeah, man, I just got recommended this video, and then I decided, okay, I might as well do a part 2 on it. So yeah, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah, Kal Halalim La, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Bashim Ruach Kudash, and double honest to great apostles once more. Thought they how thought they Yahshua for the strength in order to make this video. Shalom.